You know what the biggest lie about wealth is? That it's complicated, that you need to be some kind of genius, or have insider knowledge, or get lucky with the perfect moment. But here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. Getting rich is shockingly simple. Not easy, but simple. And today, I'm going to show you the exact strategy that changed everything for me. Hey, it's your favorite little investor, the investing ant. And if you've been waiting for someone to finally break down wealth building without all the fancy jargon and gatekeeping, you're in the right place. Let's dig in. So here's what happened. A few years ago, I was just like most ants in the colony, working hard every single day, carrying my little grain of rice, doing what I thought I was supposed to do. I wasn't broke, but I wasn't winning either. I was stuck in that middle place where you're remaking money but it's disappearing just as fast as it comes in. Sound familiar? And then one day, I had this moment. I watched one of the older ants in our colony. This quiet little guy who never bragged, never showed off, but somehow everyone knew he was doing well. He had options. He wasn't stressed. He wasn't scrambling every time something unexpected happened. So I asked him straight up, "What's your secret?" And what he told me was so simple, I almost didn't believe it. He said, "I just decided to keep more than I spend, invest the difference, and let time do the heavy lifting. That's it. No complex formulas, no secret stock tips, no crypto gambling, just that." Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds too simple. Where's the strategy? Where's the magic? But here's where it gets interesting. Because simple doesn't mean it's not powerful. Think about how we ants build our colonies. We don't wake up one day and suddenly have this massive underground empire. We start with one tunnel, one chamber, one grain at a time, and we do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. We're not stronger than other insects. We're not smarter, but we're consistent. And that consistency, compounded over time, creates something extraordinary. That's the strategy. Consistency multiplied by time equals wealth. Let me break down exactly how this works in real life, because this is where most people get lost. The strategy has 3 parts, and I promise you, once you see it clearly, you'll wonder why nobody explained it this way before. Part 1. Create a gap. This is the space between what you earn and what you spend. Most people focus all their energy on the earning side. They want a raise, a promotion, a side hustle, which is great, but they completely ignore the spending side. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has holes in the bottom. You can pour more water in all day long, but if those holes are there, you're never getting ahead. The gap is everything. Even if you're making minimum wage right now, if you can create even a tiny gap, you've got something to work with. I started with just $20 a week. $20! That's less than most people spend on coffee. But that gap was my seed. Part 2. Protect and grow that gap. This is where most people fumble. They create the gap, maybe they save a little money, and then they leave it sitting in a checking account earning nothing. Or worse, they see it as extra money and spend it on something that doesn't matter. Here's what I learned. Money that's just sitting there is dying slowly. Inflation is eating it. Time is wasting it. You've got to put that money to work. For me, that meant index funds. Boring, I know. Not sexy, not exciting. But here's the thing about index funds. They like assigning your money to carry grains 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even while you sleep. You know how we ants never stop? We're always working, always building. That's what investing does for your money. It works while you rest. While you're at your job, your money is out there multiplying. I took those $20 a week and put them into a simple S&P 500 index fund every single week, no matter what. Market up, I invested. Market down, I invested. That's the discipline part. And honestly, that's where most people fail. They get emotional. They see the market drop and they panic. They see it rise and they wait for a dip. But here's what I realized. The market doesn't care about your feelings. Time in the market beats timing the market every single time. Part 3. And this is the one that actually made me rich. Increase the gap over time. See, most people hit a plateau. They find a comfortable savings rate and they stay there forever. Maybe it's $50 a month. Maybe it's $200, but they never push it further. What I did differently was this. Every time I got any kind of financial win, a raise, a bonus, a tax refund, I immediately increased my investing by half of that amount. Got a $1,000 raise? 500 of it went straight to investing before I even felt it in my lifestyle. This is the secret sauce. Because here's what happens. Your lifestyle expenses naturally creep up over time anyway, right? You get used to a certain comfort level, and it's really hard to go backward. But if you capture those increases on the front end, before you adjust your lifestyle to them, you don't even miss the money. It's like it never existed. And that's how you go from investing $20 a week to $200 a week without it feeling painful. Grain by grain, the pile grows. Step by step, the tunnel extends. Dollar by dollar, wealth builds. Now, let me tell you what happened next, because this is where it gets really good. After the first year of doing this, I had about $1,000 invested. Not life-changing, right? I could look at that balance and think, okay, this is nice, but I'm not rich, but I didn't stop. Second year, I had about $3,000. Third year, around $6,000. And here's where the magic started happening. That money wasn't just sitting there anymore. It was earning money on its own. The dividends were reinvesting. The growth was compounding. I wasn't just adding my contributions anymore. The money itself was multiplying. By year 5, I looked at my account and I had almost $20,000. By year 7, $50,000. And I'm not talking about some huge income here. I was making a modest salary. Nothing fancy, but the strategy was working because I wasn't fighting it. I wasn't trying to outsmart it. I was just staying consistent. If this is resonating with you, drop a little ant emoji in the comments and let's grow this colony together. Because what I am about to tell you next is something I wish someone had told me on day 1. Here's the part that nobody emphasizes enough. This strategy works because it removes you from the equation. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it removes your emotions, your doubts, your tendency to overthink and self-sabotage. Once you automate your investments, once you set up that transfer to happen every week or every month without you having to think about it, you've essentially built a system that's smarter than your moment-to-moment feelings. Because let's be real, we all have days where we want to spend. We all have moments where we see something shiny and we justify why we deserve it. But when the money is already gone, already invested, already working, you can't make that mistake. The system protects you from yourself. That's the real strategy. It's not about being perfect. It's about building a system that works even when you're not perfect. And here is something else that happened that I did unexpect. Once I started seeing real results, once that balance started growing into meaningful numbers, my whole mindset shifted. I started seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. I started thinking longer term. I made better decisions in other areas of my life because I had this foundation of financial security growing quietly in the background. It's like when we ants know our colony is strong. We can take more risks, explore further, try new things, because we know we have a home base that's solid. That's what wealth gives you, not fancy cars or expensive watches. Although you can have those if you want, but real wealth gives you options. It gives you peace of mind. It gives you the ability to say no to things that do unserve you and yes to things that light you up. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say this is a get-rich-quick scheme, because it's not. The timeline depends on where you're starting, how much gap you can create, and how consistent you stay. But here's what I can promise you. If you start today, if you commit to this strategy, in 5 years you will be in a completely different financial position. In 10 years, you'll be wealthy by most standards. In 20 years, you'll have the kind of money that gives you true freedom. And it all starts with one decision. The decision to keep more than you spend. The decision to invest that difference. The decision to stay consistent even when it feels boring, even when it feels slow, even when you can't see the results yet. Think about bamboo. Bamboo is one of the strangest plants on earth. You plant a bamboo seed and for the first 5 years, you see almost nothing. Just a tiny shoot. You water it, you take care of it, and it barely grows. Most people give up during this phase. They think it's not working. But what they don't see is that underground, beneath the surface, that bamboo is building a massive root system. It's preparing, it's strengthening. And then, in the 5th year, that bamboo shoots up 90 feet in just 6 weeks. 90 feet in 6 weeks after 5 years of invisible growth. That's what compound interest is like. That's what this strategy is like. The first few years feel slow. You're building your roots, you're establishing your system. But if you stay with it, if you trust the process, there comes a point where the growth becomes exponential, where the money you've invested starts earning more than you're contributing, where wealth starts building itself. I meet so many people who tell me they'll start investing when they make more money. They'll start when they get that promotion. They'll start when they pay off their debt. They'll start when the timing is perfect. But here's the truth. There's never a perfect time. There's only now. And every day you wait is a day of compound interest you're giving away. You know what the best time to plant a tree was? 20 years ago. You know what the second best time is? Today, right now, this moment. So here's what I want you to do. Don't overcomplicate this. Do you want wait until you VA read every investing book or taken every course or figured out the optimal strategy? Just start. Open an investment account. Set up an automatic transfer, even if it's tiny, even if it's $10 a week, even if it feels insignificant, because it's not about the amount right now. It's about building the habit. It's about proving to yourself that you can do this. It's about starting your bamboo root system. And once you've started, once that first transfer goes through, you're no longer someone who talks about investing. You're an investor. You're someone who's building wealth. You're part of the colony.
Look, I'm not special. I'm just a little aunt who decided to take this seriously. I didn't have any advantages. I didn't inherit money. I didn't get lucky with some moonshot investment. I just followed this simple strategy with consistency and patience, and it changed my life. And if it worked for me, it can work for you. The only difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the decision to start and the discipline to continue. That's it. That's the whole strategy. Keep more than you spend. Invest the difference. Stay consistent. Let time do its thing. Grain by grain, step by step, dollar by dollar. I want to hear from you. What's the one thing holding you back from starting it? Drop it in the comments because I read every single one and I am here to help you through whatever is blocking you. And if this resonated with you, if you're feeling that little spark of possibility, do me a favor, hit that like button so more people can find this message. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And share this with one person who needs to hear it. Because imagine if we built a whole colony of people who understood this, who supported each other, who celebrated these small, consistent wins together. That's the kind of movement I'm trying to build here. Here's my final thought for you today, and I want you to really let this sink in. Your future self is watching you right now. The person you're going to be in 5 years, in 10 years, they're looking back at this exact moment, and they're hoping, they're praying that you make the right choice. That you start, that you stay consistent, that you trust the process even when it's hard. Don't let them down. Don't let yourself down. You have everything you need to start building real wealth right now. Not someday, not when things are perfect now. Because here in our colony, every small step counts, and it's easier than you think. Friendly female aunt character named the Investing Aunt. Warm yellow and soft brown accents adapted to an aunt's natural earthy tones, expressive eyes, confident smile, olive green satchel with a golden dollar symbol, flat 2D minimalistic style, bold outlines, white light beige background, consistent proportions, 16:9.